Alright, well, now that we have reconciled with the dark god inside us and obtained its power for our own use, we are, somewhere?
Right, yes. I remember wondering that. Like, what? Not only what, but like, I mean, I can only assume that we were captured. And we're now in, like, pro-machination prison of some kind?
Yeah, that would check out. I mean, we are... Millie and Gilo are here and seem to be acknowledged by reality, so we're obviously in our time.
Normal space. Why are they here? I mean, I thought we were captured and tied up, and like they showed up. And I was like, oh, is this a rescue? Did you guys break in here? But like,
that does seem to be the case for with how this is going to go. Anyway, soldiers, they shoot you. We know these guys. You love them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I expected, really. I mean, actually, that's a lie. What I expected was for there to be some kind of, you know, acknowledged commotion going on, rather than there just happening to be guards and we get into normal fights with them like any other time. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's possible that the game has done this era of JRPG thing again, where it kicked up into high gear and went for the shit, and then just kind of fizzled out and has gone back to being a standard JRPG bullshit. I fear that that's what might have happened here.
So these pods are, I guess what you would call this dungeon's gimmick?
The having to read the manual is a good omen.
So once we provide them with power, which comes in the form of these spark shrooms, they just move on a predetermined route. But, you know, obviously they can't let you soft lock yourself, so like there's always a spark shroom nearby at all times. So like why even have the gimmick?
Seems pretty handy. But yeah, it's like... That's a gimmick that maybe needed a little bit more time on the drawing board. It's like trading in consumables for that kind of... Like, this is the kind of thing where I would expect a game of this era trying to do this kind of thing to have like a setup where you're at the starting point, you've got stuff to do, and you try and get through, and you can fail, and if you fail, you just press a button and it's like fade to black, and you're back at the start. That seems like the kind of deal. Speaking of the deal, what is it with these?
Oh, nothing. That's the fun part. All of the enemies in this dungeon are identical. They don't do anything interesting, and mostly ineffectually smack you around a bit and look silly.
Right. I mean, that's nice, but also I just meant like what the fuck are those?
I believe the game calls them ballerina dancers? Your guess is as good as mine.
I mean, there's a vague, like, a Matryoshka-like aesthetic to them, I guess, so maybe that's where they're going with that line of thinking? Or at least going somewhere in that direction with the sort of thought vector of some kind? I'm still trying to think about, like, how you would make this gimmick work in any kind of a way.
Should also note, I'm sure you've noticed, but the screen is also dark because...
Oh, yeah, one of those things.
Not dark in a way that, like, actually impedes your ability to see and do anything, just...
Aesthetic.
It's just aesthetically, yeah, it's vaguely dark, don't worry about it.
It kind of seems like there's going to be a thing that will, evoke an idea of light and darkness, but also they did that thing where they're like, do we really want to do this? Would it make things, like, absolutely insufferable? And they thought, okay, maybe let's not. But then they just kind of left the thing in anyway? Like, it does happen sometimes when, even in games when the design is lacking, there are still instances where it's really obvious that a human has looked at it and thought, like, no, this isn't gonna work, this is gonna be insufferable, let's just put something in that completely negates it. Kind of like how in Sonic Unleashed, famously, the very last level is aggressively awful, and also really, 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 really fucking long. And I guarantee you, playtesters played it and got game overs and had to go back to the start and were going to murder the developers. And as a result, there are one-ups just everywhere. I'm pretty sure there is like 1 or 2 between literally every checkpoint in that fucking level. And that's my theory. That this happened. And you know what, it's weird and like blocky and lazy, but it sure as hell is better than them not having done that. And sometimes you don't want to stick to your convictions. Sometimes the convictions are wrong.
So, the one wrinkle to this is that some of the pods go up and down instead of left and right. And for those pods, we need to use a Volt Shroom, which we can only get by taking a Spark Shroom and using them on these electric generators.
Do you mean a Volt Shroom, or do you mean a Jolt Shroom?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Same fucking thing. You need a super electric mushroom.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, don't... I see the theory here. I know what matters and what doesn't. I'm just like, you know, it's right there. I mean, are there at least some where you can use either? Or is each one like, no, I want this thing?
I'm pretty sure it's the latter, but I did not do a lot of exploration in here because this dungeon fucking blows.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Like, I kind of had that sense just looking at that one area around the door where there was that pod. It looks like you should just be able to jump into the pod and then jump out of it onto the other platform by the door.
But you see, that pod that you were looking at was actually the one that was on the upper level.
Yeah, it's perspective. It's you got perspective fucked. That's just a failure in and of itself. Like, that's just... There is nothing really ambiguous about it. It's bad when that happens in a game like this. That shouldn't happen. Art direction, you had one job, etc, etc, etc. Yeah, I'm getting the sense that we're doing the JRPG thing where we escalated into like actual drama and it was like actually interesting and we were like, whoa, and then they were like, okay, that's quite enough of that. let's not forget what we're here for. We're here for obnoxious dungeons with involved puzzle gimmicks.
I mean, speaking of drama, you want to know what we're here for. The game's about to give us a big ol' helping of that.
I mean, yeah, there is, some context left unaddressed. It's just that we could stood to have gone straight from the one to the other.
Run loose any longer.
Right, yes. You guys are actually on the case, right?
Don't get so wound up, puppet. I promise, each of you will be put out of your misery in turn.
Go to hell, you son of a bitch! You hurt my mother!
Oh my, aren't we a bundle of energy? No surprise, you were the only subject able to reconcile with the afterling inside him.
Subject?
I gather she still hasn't told you. That's all right.
Yeah, let's hear it, Millie.
My orders are to spare you. But as it turns out, I have my own agenda. And the notion of letting a monster run loose with a wicked god inside him is one I will not entertain!
Yeah, we had a strategy here, but I'm just an enormous piece of shit. And the plot has decided
Now,
that we're gonna do this.
my armor and I are going to
You know, if he
bring
was so
Sinestro
determined
to
to
a
kill
close.
us, he had
Your days in
several
this
opportunities to
world
do
are
that
over.
didn't involve letting us wander around, like, every single continent.
Like, did he know?
Oh, he knows who we are. That is not in question.
I mean, before. Like, the whole time, like every time we've seen him, he's known that we are one of the guys who's like likely to Hulk out with disastrous consequences.
Yes, because when we do it in front of him at the rally, he specifically says, "Took you long enough."
I mean, did you know that was what was happening? Like, I don't know. I kind of a lot of the stuff in this game is kind of blurred a bit, but like I vaguely have the notion that they were just out fucking around looking for people and like happening to find them.
They have a list.
They didn't seem to have like a target of maybe. Okay, if they had a list, then sure. Like,
But, yeah, there's a lot that's going on with that, and the game will get to that once we get through Shanath's boss fight here. But like all the Machina Arma fights, this is not very long. But if you would like a small taste of the sheer amount of power that we have gained by virtue of getting Godling's Rapture, I'm sure you saw most of our combos were doing 15, 20 damage. Godling's Rapture by itself does almost 150 to him.
You may be a successful experiment, but you're still just an experiment. You'll never have the power of a true spiriter.
I mean, what even is the relative power of spiriters supposed to be in this context?
Huh. Don't even try.
What do I do? Damn it! How do I beat him? Isn't there any way to stop an Arma?
I mean, bigger numbers usually helps.
I agree.
Our hearts?
Let's make some
All
bigger
right.
numbers happen.
I'll try.
I believe on multiple occasions, we have stated our various assorted feelings on the subject of numbers going up. I believe this is a matter on which we have been most consistent.
Taking him down. Are you ready?
Forget the heart-to-heart. What do you think a shattered god can do? You can't win.
Now!
Ha! What did I just say? You can't... What? Ah! That's impossible! He broke through the armor?
What just happened with
Ready to pay the price.
the hair just then? What was that? Anyway, I was just about to say, I feel like a lot of this should have played out in a combat scripted encounter of some kind. And like it should have been one encounter rather than just this one weird thing and then a cutscene and then this other weird thing.
This is bound to hurt.
Yeah, it probably should have been, but
That would have been more video games.
it's probably a thing where like they had to load a separate Shanath encounter that has way lower defense so that you can actually hurt him now.
There is, like, without question, a technical reason why it had to be this way. Like, there is no way that everybody involved did not think that this should be done basically like how I said. And then they were like, no, our engine can't do that. We can't script that.
Anyway, yeah, Godling's Rapture fucks things up.
It's right and good.
It's just a casual 1800 damage combo with no weapon equipped. It makes the numbers happen.
My blade be sharp.
It's nice that we can do that for a change. I mean, it's not like anything else that we're trying is being a slouch, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was a pretty good standard combo from Soggy, and it did less than half the amount of damage that Godling's Rapture did on its own. So.
It's like, all that stuff aside, what's the actual difficulty of this? Like, is this...
Oh, absolutely nothing. Like,
Yeah, they're giving you your catharsis.
yeah, this is purely a fight so that you can just fucking murder Shadath.
Okay, good times. I respect it.
Such strength. I never thought any man would be able to harness the Afterling's power.
Hey, wow, blood.
Perhaps their research wasn't the madness I thought it to be.
That's a new one.
What are you saying?
I'm saying, you're not a spiriter. You're a mockery. A maladeator. You've got a piece of a wicked god where the spirit's supposed to be. From the look on your face, you must have known about the wicked god inside you. But
I feel like it's kind of hard to not know about the wicked god inside you when
What do
you
you mean?
literally turn into an Afterling.
It all happened 15 years ago. A study was commenced at Olgin's behest. Baelheit was appointed director of the study. His task, to create a spiriter by hand. In other words, to engineer a man-made spiriter.
And
Man.
JRPGs stop having dying guys go
That's
on
right.
half-hour lectures challenge.
All started with Olgin's ego. He tried to turn his son into a tailor-made spiriter that could inherit the Empire. They say a spiriter has the power to sway the world. Qualification enough to rule one little empire, no question. But alas, one cannot become a spiriter by one's own choosing. Their solution? Find something to rival a guardian spirit's power, and implant that in a person's heart instead.
I fail to see the conceptual problem here. It's kind of like complaining about fake diamonds.
Malpercio's afterlings.
Yeah, I don't think the theory is wrong. It's that the thing that they chose to replace the power of a guardian spirit happened to be the wicked god, which you should not touch in fear of its power.
You're one of them, aren't you? A Maladeator.
Very perceptive. Sadly, my body didn't make a good home for the afterling. No, there's nothing sad about that. I was lucky. I never had to turn into a monster like you and those other wretches.
You're saying I'm one of them? People made me like this?
Hang on, again with the game being kind of a blur at times, but like, have we not got too many of these things now?
He's getting away, Sagi!
There's
Damn it!
Sagi,
After him!
Celsica, Bine.
Like I can't remember how many of the ones that we've fought.
I say there's a loose one at the beginning of the game. There's one in. Yeah, no, we fought 7 so far. Not counting us.
Right. Because, like, what's with that? Are there more of these things other than the 5 Malpercio guys? Because I thought that was what the deal was.
Well, the five big pieces of Malpercio are the ones that were turned into the N Magnus and are supporting the islands. This is
There's no
different,
place else to
TM.
run.
Don't worry about it.
I suppose not. Well done.
Answer us one thing before you die. Why did you kill Ogun?
That's easy. I wanted to kill him. With my own 2 hands. That's all.
Not
Why?
really an
Did
answer.
he do something to you?
What could you hope to gain from knowing that? I have nothing else to say. Go on, Sagi. Take your revenge and be done with it.
You don't even have to ask. I know. There's no point. Right? His spirit isn't going to give him much longer anyway. Come on, guys.
Excellent decision.
If you don't pick that option, he does, in fact, kill Shanath.
It was supposed to make the perfect heir, not kill him.
Oh, Shanath was secretly the Emperor's son. I'm not sure how that really changes anything in the grand scheme of things, but, hey, it's a twist.
We had the one loose end and we have the other loose end. We connect them. And they kind of cancel out. Hi, what?
Safina.
Oh, hey. Guys pointing meme.
Anyway, now that we have learned the terrible truth about Maladeators and Shanath and this whole project, fuck this, let's go home.
Yeah, but we're still, here, though. Really, this whole dungeon is just, it's just absolutely elemental filler. It's like they just thought, no, this is too interesting. People are getting too engaged. They're getting overstimulated. There's too much high concept bullshit going down.
it is true that you probably could have gone straight from the breaking off of the wall where we started this dungeon directly to Shanath's office, and nothing would have changed.
It's like, what was the point of any of this? Also, like, where even, like, obviously it's like, yeah, it's Empire facilities, blah blah blah, but like, what is the deal? The thing that I would normally suspect, just thinking about story stuff, is that if we're subjects, and obviously there was an intention to capture and research them because they like mad science. That's kind of their deal. So like it would make sense if, hey, they did their whole plan and we got captured and now we're here and we're gonna get poked at by science. But like, what happened? And how did our friends get here, and how much of this is going to be addressed when Millie finally tells us what the fuck?
I think in your heart you already know the answer to that question.